Man, how do people, like, do this? How do people just start talking off the cuff? How do you even start a video like this? Hello, and welcome to the channel. What the f was that? Can you tell that I don't know what I'm doing? Hello, and welcome to the channel. I have no idea what I'm doing, but let's just roll with it. I've never done, like, a talking video before where it's just me on camera speaking to you. And that's because, like, it's not my forte. I don't think speaking off the cuff is particularly what I'm good at. There is a reason that I'm making this video, and I'm taking myself out of my comfort zone a little bit. And that is because I think it's really important that I give you all an update on the channel and the plans going forward. And that's because there's actually going to be a lot of big changes to the channel. First of all, I want to start off by saying thank you so much to the 500 or so subscribers that have stayed subscribed to the channel over, let's say, some barren years at this point. Because let's be honest, I haven't actually really produced any content for, since maybe December, January this year, tops. And I certainly haven't produced any regular content for at least a year, if not a little longer. So yeah, you are all absolutely amazing human beings for staying subscribed when I wasn't producing anything. But there are a lot of things that I want to kind of get through and get across to you all and explain in this video. There will be like a bit of a sort of sneak peek of what's upcoming towards the end. But first of all, let's like do a little bit of a history lesson. This channel originally started out as a hobby, as a way for me to practice my sort of video editing, video making skills back in the heady and confusing ass times of the year 2020. Now, I don't know if any of you particularly remember 2020. There's nothing particularly historical about that year, so I can't see why you would remember it. As a lot of people stuck in lockdown and needing something to do to keep my sanity, this channel actually was something super important for me because it evolved from like a major shift in my life. I decided to embark on a new career. I decided it was time for a change. It was time to get myself a career that was more fulfilling to me, one that I actually really wanted to do, and one that sort of inspired me and sort of fed that creative itch that I clearly had. I eventually settled on starting a career in digital marketing, but obviously didn't have any experience whatsoever. That's why I set up this channel as a sort of avenue to help me practice those sort of videography, video editing kind of skills and stuff like that. And believe it or not, it actually worked. This channel is solely responsible for me getting a digital marketing apprenticeship back in 2021. Whatever happens to this channel long term, I'll forever be grateful for that, because it helped get me out of working in bars. And any of you that do work in bars will tell you how difficult it is to get out of the hospitality industry once you're in there. So I'll always be super thankful for that. Again, whilst we're on this trip down memory lane, I want to go through a little bit of a history of what this channel was and what it became and what I want it to morph into eventually. So at first, the channel was literally just me doing some let's plays of like some of my favorite games and stuff like that. And then it sort of grew, or shifted is probably a better word, into focusing more on games in the sort of cozy gaming genre, in the cozy gaming scene, because those were simply the games I was playing in that moment at that time and was really enjoying. And then after that, the channel sort of changed a little bit again, pivoted a little bit again to basically solely focus on indie gaming, which was so much fun. The period where we were focusing on indie gaming was some of the most fun I've had on this channel, simply because getting to work with like the small dev and publishing teams around indie games and stuff was just so rewarding, and being able to speak to, you know, people that were super passionate about the project that they'd started, like that really was a lot of fun for me. But overall, it's actually a really difficult field to sort of exist in, because you basically need to be online 24/7. Like, you need to be communicating with, supporting, researching, you know, new games. You need to be talking to the dev teams, the publishers and their employees, or, you know, those people that reach out to you and stuff like that. Because you get this sort of sense of feeling that you need to have your finger on the pulse, basically, of, in this case, the indie gaming scene, which is a difficult thing for anyone to do, to be online basically 24/7, and it's a really difficult thing for me to do because it's not something that comes naturally to me. Even though I've got a YouTube channel, I'm not the sort of person that does sit online all the time. Like, I don't particularly enjoy it, and basically because of that, it wasn't really sustainable for me, and that's not taking into consideration, you know, all the other aspects of life, you know, working full-time, studying at the time as well, and obviously we were all pretty much going through a cost of living crisis, so there are a few other stresses involved. So, you know, all of that combined, it made it quite difficult for me to, well, sustain that behavior, and I knew that I wouldn't be able to do it long term because basically I could feel it creeping on me, but I got hit by the dreaded creative burnout. And anyone that has spent any time trying to grow a social media presence on whatever your platform of choice is, you'll have hit burnout at some point, and you know what it is, and you know how it hits you. But I think that creative burnout is something really important to happen to anyone that is creative, just because I think you really need to go through it so that you can come out the other side and be stronger because of it, learn from it, if that makes sense. And that's certainly my experience anyway. I've spoken about like the history of what kind of how this channel became the channel that it is now, which again, like, I might be making this video. I've already said thank you to the 500 or so subscribers. Like, maybe 10 people will watch this video. If this is me just speaking into the void, that's absolutely fine, because this important update is for you 10 people. It's for my core audience. It's for the people that will find some sort of entertainment and enjoyment in the things that I want to create for you. And basically what I want to do right now is explain the new direction that I want to take the channel. I want to start focusing on lore, on stories, on world building, on the mythology behind certain games. And the reason for this is quite simple, and I'm kind of hoping that it's one that some of you will also sort of recognize and want to be part of this journey, hence why I'm making this video today. Since being away from creating content on YouTube for the past like year or two, I have rekindled a love for reading, for stories, and that entirely comes down to my girlfriend, who is one of those people that has, like, I think, what are we in? It's the 13th of August today when I'm recording this, and I'm pretty sure she's read something like 40 or 50 books so far through the year. And being around someone that has that sort of passion for reading, for, you know, fantastic storytelling and stuff like that, it's really rubbed off on me. And that is to say that I used to love reading when I was like a kid and when I was a teenager, and it's just something that I kind of stopped doing when I became an adult, when I moved away to uni, I think, really. And I don't know why I stopped really reading. Maybe this is something that sort of happens to a lot of people, but being able to pick up a good book with an incredibly well-crafted world, with some fantastic world building, interesting characters, and a great, you know, overall story, a compelling storyline, like, it's been one of the most enjoyable things that I've done in recent years, is going back to, you know, stories that I loved from my childhood, stories that I loved from when I was a teenager, or even stories that I wanted to read back then and never got round to. And it sort of awakened something else in me, and it made me realize that the reason I actually love video games and gaming so much is for the story of it, is for the world building, is for the lore, the mythology behind it, like all these little things that the creators have thought about and put into their game, which they didn't need to do, but it's those sort of aspects of a video game that make me fall in love with a game. It sounds so obvious and simple now, but it's no wonder that genuinely, I think, of my top 10 favorite ever video games, maybe 8, 9, maybe even all 10 of them are pretty story-driven games. It's a realization that I've only just come to. And basically that's what I want to do. I want to pivot the channel to focus on those kinds of games. Ones that have really well-defined stories, really intricately designed worlds, and really thought-provoking sort of world building, and I want to sort of dive into those because I enjoy them, and I hope that that will then come through in the content that I produce. So overall, this is going to be a soft reboot to the channel. I'm pivoting my focus. I'm gonna start over to a degree. I will be privating and unlisting a lot of my sort of earlier content, just because I don't think it really fits in with the new direction I want to take the channel, or it's also not of like a quality that I'm particularly proud of anymore. If you do really want to watch those videos, that's fine. Like, I'll stick them in a playlist somewhere up here, and they can just exist sort of separately to what I want to do going forward. But really, overall, I want this to come across as like a brand new start for the channel, a fresh new outlook, a new coat of paint. You know, this is year zero. This is where I want to draw the line in the sand, and I want to look forward and not back. And basically, the reason that I actually am making this video is because I need your help with this. I need you to let me know what you think of the new content when it comes out, of the new videos. Because at the end of the day, good or bad, I want to hear your feedback. I want to, when I boil everything down to its very, very base, you know, components, I want to create videos and content that you find entertaining or educational or informing, if that makes sense. And I need you to help me do that. So I really need your help to help me improve the sort of content that I put out. And the only way you can do that is feedback, honest feedback, really. But that's a lot of talk about actually rebooting the channel and starting over. But what exactly does any of this mean? How is it actually going to work out in reality? Well, the way that I sort of see the content landing, or the way that I want to produce everything, is the main idea is we will completely deep dive into one specific game or game series. We'll basically play through the whole thing from start to finish with a specific focus on uncovering the lore, learning more about the world and the story and how that interlinks with other games in the series, etc, etc. And I want to release these lore-focused Let's Play videos weekly under the Backtracking series name that I have used in the past for a few things. And then sort of at the end of that Let's Play, so let's say, you know, it takes us a couple of months to get through the game, releasing an episode every week. Then at the end of that, I want to do a super in-depth deep dive. We'll bring together everything that we've learned about the game, and we'll present that, you know, here is the lore of insert video game name here. Do you know what I mean? And that will be the sort of main focus. That'll be the cherry on top of the focus of the channel for those few months. And I don't have a name for that series yet. The working title is Lore 101, but that might change. We will wait and see. And of course, there will be little one-offs and specials here and there. But the overall main focus will be fully diving into one specific game or series and immersing ourselves in the game, in the world, in the gaming world. That's probably the best way to put it. That's what I want us to do. I want us to, on a few of my social medias, I've changed my like bio to lore hunter or lore hunting. And that's what I want us to do. Like together, as I want to build a community and we do it together. You know, I want to put these videos out each week, and I want to see your comments below saying, oh, that's really interesting, I thought it was this. Oh, you totally you know, what about this aspect of the world? You know, I want a discussion to sort of form, and then I'll use that to build the Lore 101 videos. That's the idea anyway. If you think it's an idea, that's absolutely fine. Let me know. You know, maybe this isn't for you. Like I said, this might only be of interest to a few of you out there, but if it is, then I guess this video is for you. If you want to experience the lore, discover more about the world a game is set in, then by all means join me for the weekly episodic releases of Backtracking. Whereas if you'd prefer to just super deep dive into all the lore presented, you know, all the lore, all the story presented to you at the end of it, then, you know, join me every couple of months for the Lore 101 videos. Whatever you choose to watch, I really do hope you support the channel by liking, commenting, subscribing, and to be honest, actually more importantly, sharing the content with people that you think might be interested in it. And to be honest, I feel like I've said everything now, so I hope that you stick around and support the channel. If it's not your kind of thing, by all means unsubscribe. That's absolutely fine. But I hope you join me in this journey. I'm a little nervous, I'm a little apprehensive, but hey, I guess we'll see how it goes. And I suppose without further ado, let me introduce you to the first series of backtracking that will be kicking off the new era of this channel. Enjoy.